Okay, guys, this is going to be my review for the movie Arrival. Arrival by Denis Villeneuve is phenomenal. I still contend for my money. Prisoners is his best movie, but by the way, this movie is phenomenal. See, it's like, I love films that you go into it thinking it's going to be one way, and it turning out to be something else. And I'm going to go full spoiler. The twist where you figure out um she's actually seeing the future. Because throughout the whole movie, you're seeing what you thought was flashbacks to when she had a child, and you see that they're actually her insights to the future. And then when I started after that twist, and I started thinking about those scenes and thinking about those moments, I was like, it makes total sense. From her saying the non-zero something, or when she figured out that word that her daughter was needing, and then you realize her realizing it that in right after Jeremy Renner said it, and like stuff like that was like there was hints and clues where it wasn't a twist that came out of nowhere, and I think it just made it more fascinating. And I just love when all the pieces come together, and I think it took me about 10 minutes or so to think about the logic of that, but I have to say, out of all the different time travel-y stuff, they have some really good logic, and I think the logic of Arrival's time travel is that everything is inevitable. Because I was thinking, how did she know the phone number? How did she know this or all this stuff, or how to call him in the first place? And this idea of it's a constant loop. She didn't change it. See, what we kind of a way you can interpret it is that she changed what was going to happen by the events of the future. But that's not true, because the future she was looking at were future events in which they succeed. And so at the end of the day, I think it's less time travel and it's more of inciting the future and seeing how they did it, because at the end of the day, she didn't change anything. It was this idea of inevitability. Everything that happened in Arrival was inevitable. And by the way, like the visual effects were great, and especially because this is not the highest budget, and considering it's this big alien invasion film, there's no action, there's no anything, and it's really primarily in one location the whole movie. But I think, to be honest, this is the most realistic look at what it would be like if aliens come to Earth, because everyone's thinking if aliens came to Earth, they would like be Independence Day, and Men in Black style, conquer the world and all that stuff. But that's not really the case. I think it would. In a realistic sense, they come in ways that we don't understand. And I think this idea of you don't need soldiers, you don't need assassins for this film. No, you just need someone who understands language. And I think that was so fascinating. Is you have this film that is on such a big scope, because this film primarily has one location, and that's the kind of the grassy area and the camp and the ship, in which our main characters are at. This film, it does do a great job of showing the scope, whether it's showing the news cameras or all that stuff. It does a great job of showing the scope. So for a film that's on this big of a scope and scale, seeing someone who is a language teacher is just such a fascinating way, and how communication. At the end of the day, the key to this movie is communication, communicating with the past, communicating with the future, communicating with each other, and what saves the day. Communication, reaching out, because at the end of the day, our biggest conflict wasn't even our biggest conflict was how, the conflict wasn't stopping these aliens. The conflict was just simply finding out their purpose of being here, and once you understood, and that third act where everything's coming together, it just felt satisfying, but also made sense. It was something that was surprising. So there's a difference. See, this is the thing. I like twists that are surprising, that catch you off guard, but don't come out of nowhere. Because twists that come out of nowhere feel abrupt and feel random. But this didn't feel random. When you think about this, at the end of the day, we had no reason to believe that it was flashback. So it made sense, okay, that's flash forwards. And then you start to think, yeah, I can see that. Because I think that is so much of a credit. And I'm shocked she didn't get Best Actress nomination for this film, but Amy Adams, because like her reaction upon thinking about it, yeah, every reaction wasn't See, that's the thing. The way she does it is she makes it anonymous. She never says, I'm thinking about events that happen in the future, and she never says, I think of events that happened in the past. Her reactions are always in shock and in fear, but then think about it, yeah, it could make sense. She's not reacting to it because of sadness. She's reacting of it in shock, or in wonder, or in surprise, or in mystery, you know? So I think overall this movie was very good, and it still gets me to thinking about it because there is just so many moving pieces. But at the end of the day, it's a story about communication that takes the form of this alien invasion. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah. And another thing is, it always had this futuristic feel to it, which is interesting too. But yeah, overall, really enjoyed it.